You will now receive your Nofap 101 Day 5 action step.
Oh, Fap soldiers, good day to you, good day to you. Captain Nofap, aka Swami G Nofap here. Look, let's talk about the different categories that you need to use in order to properly transmute. There's too many people out there not transmuting properly. To run through them, it's physical, pre-physical, emotional, mental, and relational. So let's just hop right in. Physical, what does that mean? That means that in your transmutation effort, which is a must on the Nofap path, in your transmutation effort, you need to use one technique in each category because the creative energy manifests in different ways. It's creative energy. It will create a way in order to manifest itself. Generally, it will manifest itself in a physical form, a pre-physical form, a mental form, an emotional form, or a relational form. And I'll tell you what relational is. Stay tuned for that one. So anyway, physically, there's some people out there squatting, they're running, they're jogging, they're going to the gym, they're doing their pull-ups, they're using their high bar deadlift, all that is great. They're doing their clean and press, all that is great. Stick to that, you understand that. The reason why is because the creative energy sometimes gets stuck around in your physical structure. If you sit too long, it might get stuck around your sexual organs and stuff like that. So you gotta let it go through the body, literally go through the body. When you squat, which is great to do, especially at night, if you can do 20 air squats before you go to bed, what it does is it grounds that energy. Go down, get away from my sexual organs is basically what you're trying to say. So that's great, you understand that. That's the most commonly used. People do push-ups and stuff to go ahead and transmute that energy. But what they generally miss is pre-physical. Pre-physical. Some people like to call pre-physical spiritual, but I don't, because it's not spiritual, it's pre-physical. You know how they say, well, everything's connected, but it looks around and you can't really tell that it is, although it is, but you don't even need to think about that. What you need to think about is all things are connected by their origin. By their origin. Everything, you would agree with this, I hope, that you see was once unseen. Come on now. You gotta agree with that. Everything you see was once unseen. Therefore, everything that you see that was once unseen, they all must have come from the same place, and that's the place of the unseen. And I call that pre-physical. And so this energy, this creative energy, manifests itself in a pre-physical form. You have to transmute it. How you do that is by meditation. Meditation is one of the best ways to transmute the energy when it's in its pre-physical form. I cannot tell you that enough. This energy is in you, but it's in you in its raw, pre-physical, unmanifested state. When you start to meditate and go to that subtle level, that silent state, in that unified field, which all things come in that pre-physical state, all things come from that pre-physical state. When you take your mind back to that, what you do is you cleanse the energy, which helps transmute that energy. It will change your entire journey and your entire life. Now, emotionally, this energy may manifest in an emotional form, in an emotional state, because remember, it's just energy. It's not sexual energy, and even if it were sexual energy, would you not admit that sex does have quite an emotional component and quite a strong emotional component? Even if it's just sex with no attachment, there's still some sort of emotional. Remember, your emotions are how you feel it. It's energy in motion. So there's some sort of emotional bond, emotional attach, emotional component, emotional form, emotional manifestation in which this creative energy comes. So you have to transmute it from the emotional state as well. One way to do that, believe it or not, when you're feeling an urge, you want to win this game, I don't care how it sounds. I don't care how it looks. Do you want to conquer Mount Nofap? Do you want to break this addiction? Well, if you do, then you have to understand that it actually has an emotional hold on you. It has an emotional hold on you. Something has an emotional hold on you, and you think you're going to squat it away? Wake up, soldier. You need to transmute in categories. Emotionally. So sometimes when you feel an urge and you want to fight that urge, I don't care if it's first thing in the morning and there's other people in the house, you grab your pillow and you scream into it. Pause. Grab your pillow and scream into it to let that energy out. Sometimes it hurts. You know it's painful. That's what you got to do. That's one way. Another way is sometimes you might have to cry. You might literally have to cry. That urge might be so strong, but you don't want to be that sick that you've been all this time. You don't want to be that weak dude that you've been all this time. You want to become someone new. And in order to become someone new, you got to release. You got to release the old you. Seriously, that's emotional state you release, and you might have to cry. You got too much shit pent up in you because you believe that bullshit that men don't cry. It's a release. Males cry, little baby boys cry. It's not because they haven't become a man yet. In many ways, they're more man than you because they recognize that that energy should not be inside of them. You need to cry sometimes. Let it out. Let it out. You got some shit you need to cry about. Man up. That's what the path to teach you, but you don't need to wait to get down the path to learn that lesson. Start crying. Let it out. Let the emotions out. That's what you gotta do. So you have to transmute. Transmute. You can yell, you can cry, or you can just laugh a whole lot more. Laugh about stuff. Start to find the beauty in life. It's a form of transmutation. Going around looking and just laughing. And gratitude, of course. Gratitude will help create an emotional attachment with the higher vibration. So you can ride that wave of gratitude up towards rising above the lower vibration, which causes you to relapse. So that's emotional. The next one is mental. Mental is absolutely amazing because you have to remember this addiction also has a mental hold on you. So if you only out here trying to squat it away, do push-ups, do pull-ups to get rid of the addiction, how much are you really doing for yourself? You're only doing a little bit. It's a multifaceted thing that's coming to get you. And so you need to be multifaceted in your attack or your resistance or your presentation of this thing. So when you present yourself to this thing, you need to be prepared, and part of that is mentally. So mentally, what do you have to do? Start to be aware of when the emotions are there, when the desire is there, when the urge is there, when the craving is there. Be aware, because now you're starting to observe it. You're starting to see it. And then once you see it and you identify it, I want you to thank it and then shift your mind to a different thought. That is a form of transmutation. That thought was there. Instead of engaging in that thought, instead of indulging in that thought, you're walking through the store, you see that ass, naturally your hand touches your thing, you keep looking at it, you're engaging. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Say, thank you, energy, I'm glad you're there. You're misinterpreting that body part on this particular woman as something sexual, but it's not. It's me. Thank you though, I appreciate you. Now I'm going to shift my mind to something else. That is a form of mental transmutation that will change your life. The fifth thing you want to do is called relational. What does that mean? Relational. You said physical, I get that. You said pre-physical, I get that. You said emotional, I get that. You said mental, I get that. But now you're coming with relational. What's that? Well, what I mean is you have to relate to that energy as a form of transmutation in the state that it's in right now. And in the state that it's in is you can actually start to feel this energy in your body sometimes. What do I mean? I mean straight up relational. If your dick is hard, what I want you to do is recognize that there's not only blood and things like that in there, but what's also going on is that there's an energy in there. I want you to literally move that energy up your spine. You have that power. You need to start to develop a relationship with this energy. How you trying to transmute something you ain't got no relationship with? Think about that. Everybody's out here talking about, oh, transmute. Yeah, you got to transmute. Transmutation, transmutation. All you got to do is run and jog. But yet many of you keep relapsing. You need to fight this creative energy, and not fight, because remember that's what you resist, persist. So you need to rise above this creative energy, transmute it, and one of the things you have to do in order to do that is meet it where it's at. Meet it where it's at. Relate to it, recognize it, and move it somewhere else. You have that power. So give that a try, watch your life change. I'll see you up the path.